Okay, we are rolling. We are rolling, brother. Champions of Champions boxing talk. I told ya! I told ya! Who says that? I don't know, but a lot of fans presume it's Floyd Mayweather. Anyway, I told ya! Deontay Wilder, Louis Ortiz. Well, the right hand, we know all about that, don't we? It is not the bomb squad, it is a nuclear explosion. You get hit with that, you stay hit. Right? Everybody's saying, and I agree, but we all had an inclination it could happen. Louis Ortiz boxed, nearly enough a perfect fight for 6 rounds. 6 rounds. That's not enough. That's not enough. It's not enough to box 11 rounds, 2 minutes and 58 seconds against Deontay Wilder. It has to be, you have to prepare to box perfectly for 15 rounds. Just in case the rules change by the end of the 12th and he could still land that right hand. I mean, I'm only slightly exaggerating there, but ask Tyson Fury. He got to the 12th and it's still, he paid the price. Now, Louis Ortiz was doing great things. Great lefts to the head, body. He was throwing that really good right-handed jab around Deontay Wilder's right hand time and time again when Deontay Wilder threw. Or I should say Deontay Wilder's left jab, sorry. But if this wasn't Deontay Wilder, I'd be getting worried. But I thought round 6, round 7, there's still a long time to go. Louis Ortiz was getting more and more confident. You don't do that with Deontay Wilder. Louis Ortiz early was doing just enough. More than enough, actually, to win the rounds because Deontay Wilder's output was just not there. But he was doing enough. Keep it at enough. But when round 5, 6 come, Louis Ortiz started letting his hands go. Right? When you invest against Deontay Wilder, you leave yourself for counter-investment. And Louis Ortiz was pushing Deontay Wilder back. But there was a moment towards the end of round 6 where nothing happened. It's an insignificant point, but it's not. This is the point. It isn't insignificant. Deontay Wilder walked Louis Ortiz back for the first time through a right hand and Louis Ortiz caught it. Right? That was significant. Because for the first time, Deontay Wilder was getting just a fragment of success. But that's all he needs. Right? And then in the 7th, in the finish, Louis Ortiz was still outboxing Deontay Wilder on the back foot. But the point was Wilder had him there then. And he threw kind of, shall we say, a throwaway jab with the left hand. And then come round with the nuclear explosion, the right hand. And that's all he needed. Right? But Louis Ortiz shown tonight that he's still got plenty of fight left in him. More than I actually thought. But the result is what I thought. Gerald Washington had 3 or 4 good rounds against Deontay Wilder. But we see the same pattern, don't we? So that brings in then the question. Can Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz or Tyson Fury beat him for sure? They've got to be perfect. And the only one, and what costs Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder is he showboats. Now, that makes Wilder throw more out of aggression and tire himself out. But Deontay Wilder's right hand is so fast that it's nearly as quick as Fury's reflexes. So it is going to land if you keep doing that. Fury, unlike Mayweather, you only see Mayweather showboat the last 10 seconds of a 12th round when he's moving and the fight's won. Fury tends to do it throughout a bout. That's his mistake. That is a mistake and a flaw with Tyson Fury. The one thing with Tyson Fury is he's been getting hit a lot with left hands. If Wilder can sort of... Again, I really didn't see much on his left hand again tonight. He needs that punch perfected better. But if he can throw that, he can put Tyson Fury into the position where he can land that right hand, right? And as I said, he can wait, he can be patient, he can get head boxed off, and then boom, it's power like the sort of stuff George Foreman and Rocky Marciano had. The old Rocky Marciano tapes, watch him. His eyes are spilling more blood than the ocean has water. He's getting beat pillar to post in some fights. He's getting up off the canvas. And then, boom, he lands. It's over. That is Deontay Wilder. He was taking some real punishment to that body. And he was looking at Ortiz as if to say, "Oof, I tell you, boy, that is painful." And he gave Ortiz a lot of credit. But make no mistake, that was measured. You know, he's done that too often now for people to say, "Oh, he just threw a wild shot and it landed." No. That goes right through and detonates. Set up with a really lazy jab and then boom with a right hand. And that's all she wrote. Now, people compare him with Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson. The difference between a Mike Tyson and Deontay Wilder is this. Early on in a Mike Tyson fight, from round one, you know what you're up against. He comes at you, and you will feel his power if he catches you early. He beats sort of the life out of you if he can catch you. With Deontay Wilder, he lures you into a false sense of security. He threw about 3 right hands in the first 7 rounds. That is going to make anyone potentially complacent. They're going to think, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm all right here," and then boom. With Mike Tyson, you can see what's coming at least. With Deontay Wilder, you know it's going to come at some point, but when? That's the question. When? That's the difference between Mike Tyson and Deontay Wilder. Tyson comes out like a fury. A ferocious fury. An animal, a wolf. A lion, a tiger, whatever you want to call it early. He's on you. He's ready to take your soul. It's just, will he take your soul or will you survive the onslaught? But with Deontay Wilder, he might go for a walk for the first 2 or 3 rounds. And then you're thinking, I'm winning these rounds. And I'm hurting him to the body. Hey, I'll just go over there and throw a combination. And then he might turn you before you expect it and land 1 right hand. That's all he needs and it's over. As he said, everybody's got to be perfect. I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds. That's what Deontay Wilder said. And he's right. Anthony Joshua would not be losing the rounds, I don't think, against Louis Ortiz the way Deontay Wilder was, because styles make fights. But Louis Ortiz, as Sky Sports said, is a better boxer. Okay. But punching is part of boxing. So that sort of equals the playing field. He's got the thing that we want to see. Power. Knockouts. It's extremely fast. It's a one-trick pony, people say. But, if you've ever watched football, remember David Beckham? Oh, he can only cross a ball. Well, he had a lot more to his game than that. But his forte was free kicks and crossing the ball. Everybody knew what he was going to do, but they couldn't stop him. He put a perfect ball on a striker's head every time. Well, not every time, but you know what I mean. His percentages were Deontay Wilder-like in football, right? At some point, David Beckham could be quiet. He gets the ball on the flank, in goes the cross, and 1-0, you've just scored. Out of the blue. That's Deontay Wilder. It's scary. It is scary power. I do put him up there with the best punchers probably I've ever seen. Right? And he's reliant on it. I mean, if he does ever get an injury to that right hand, I think he does lose a fight unanimous decision. But the point is, well, he's got it. He might not lose. That is the reality. Anthony Joshua, I don't think, can keep out the way of that right hand for 12 rounds. He's not defensively blessed enough. His upper body is not quick enough. Right? He may take Deontay Wilder out before Wilder takes him out, but he'd have to. Because the longer Wilder's in there, he'll knock Anthony Joshua out. That's a fact. Unless Joshua puts some mustard on him and stops him, which Joshua's got power too. Deontay Wilder, if you box and play with him for so long, he is like, God forbid, He's like a budgie. You know when a budgie thinks that it's playing with a cat? And you know, oh my God, this isn't going to end well. The budgie thinks it's pecking the cat, it's annoying the cat, it's getting better at the cat, and then swipe. Unfortunately. It's a very sad comparison. But that's nature. That's power. And Deontay Wilder has that power. You know, I'm glad Luis Ortiz is all right. But again, I go the same with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz would have to put it on him. Andy Ruiz shown he could take a great left hook from Anthony Joshua early. Maybe his chin gives him some chance against Deontay Wilder, but how good of a chin do you need? And the question is, how did Tyson Fury get up twice from that? Tyson Fury must be made of steel. But the point was, they get greedy with Deontay Wilder. They're having all this success and then they think, right, I want more. Then they either tire themselves out and the reflexes slow down and he can measure them for the right hand, or he finds it in their gaps. Happened to Tyson Fury, it's happened to Luis Ortiz twice now. Will it happen to Anthony Joshua? Will he be way ahead? I think he could be, and then Wilder land. As I say, I think that fight is really fascinating because Joshua's got the power when he's boxing to really bust you up. But Wilder's got the equaliser when you start tiring, and when your reflexes go and your feet slow and maybe you're backed up, that is when you are in danger of losing the fight. So it was a spectacular knockout. It's everything we've seen from Deontay Wilder before, to be honest with you. It was a lot tougher than the Dominic Breazeale fight, but it was the ending of the Dominic Breazeale fight, if that makes sense. It was quite a bit tougher than the Gerald Washington fight, but it ended the same way as the Gerald Washington fight. It ended the same way as the Tyson Fury fight. The only difference was Tyson Fury got to his feet, beat the count, and I think won the match. But the knockdowns put enough doubt in the judge's mind to give Deontay Wilder the draw. Now in the rematch, what happens? Can you go the rematch with Tyson Fury? Can Tyson Fury go 24 rounds with Deontay Wilder without getting knocked out? That is the question. He's capable of it. But the way to beat Deontay Wilder is to beat him in the rounds, I think. Concentration of 110%, no less. Take what's there and no more. Don't think it's Christmas. Take what's there and no more. You've got to drop your ego. Tyson Fury has an ego. He has an egotistical boxing ego, just like Deontay Wilder has an ego about his power, because they're both, masters at the boxing craft, Tyson Fury, and at the puncher's craft, Deontay Wilder. The problem is, when you're not humble against Deontay Wilder, when you're not thinking, this guy could take me out at any point, I better be switched on here. When you showboat in front of him, thinking that you're going to stop him, you give him a chance. You give him that chance. It would have been a clear victory for Tyson Fury had he not squared up his shoulders in the 12th round and took that right hand and the left hook going down. So all this is to be bared in mind. Ultimately, you could be perfect and he can land. This is boxing, Don't get in the shower if you don't want to get hit. But the problem is, Deontay Wilder, it's like getting in a shower and being able, hoping to dodge every single, bit of water that drops. It's impossible. At some point, something's going to land. And it's always the same. And it's worked for him so far. Would you believe he could be 50 years of age and rely on this power? Power's the last things to go. That's the scary thing. He doesn't have to be a super athlete as he ages. He can be patient. Obviously, somewhere along the way, everybody has a bad night, but he can be patient in the vast majority of his fights and know that sooner or later the opportunity will come. Even against the best defensive fighters, they do get caught now and again in fights. But when you get caught by him, it's over. Anyway, spectacular knockout from Deontay Wilder. Louis Ortiz he didn't take as much punishment, ironically, in that fight as Deontay Wilder did. But he also didn't take as much punishment as he did in the first fight. So it was a clean knockout, and sometimes they're better than getting up off the canvas and taking a constant pounding. So I think Louis Ortiz, can feel confident in his performance tonight and think that, yes, against other guys, Deontay Wilder said it himself, against the other champions who can't just finish you in one punch, you have a chance. That was Deontay Wilder's assessment of Louis Ortiz tonight, right? But Dillian Whyte gets hit. Derek Chisora and people like that, they come to fight and get hit. I don't think they're beating Deontay Wilder. They're not as crafty as Louis Ortiz is. I know Louis Ortiz is older, but early in the fight he paced himself really well and didn't look tired at all. These guys come for a fight and a scrap, but when you come for a fight and a scrap, you put yourself in Deontay Wilder's range, and that's what I think will get them. Just like what got even the crafty Louis Ortiz tonight. Anyway, that's me, and this is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out, brother.